tired of running for shade? And aren't you tired of being hustled and played? And aren't we all tired of crying about how hard it is to be black in America, even if it looks like we've got it made?
Has this been difficult for you?
Yeah. Because when you watch someone who you know and love, go through what he's going through.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, dead at the age of 54 on a drowning accident while he was vacationing with his family in Costa Rica.
If the media's portrayal of the hood were any more one-dimensional, it'd be a cardboard cutout in a Tyler Perry movie. Let's get this straight. America doesn't just borrow from the hood, it loots it. From fashion to slang to entire music genres, the hood has been the country's cultural vending machine.
Me and Eddie really did not get along.
In real life?
In real life.
I did not know this.
Yeah. Like
okay.
we didn't get. But every single week before taping, we'd come together, we'd put our hands together, we'd bow, and we'd pray before we go out there.
Except no one's paying. Instead, the media slaps a trigger warning on every black zip code and calls it a day. So here comes Malcolm-Jamal Warner, calmly ripping the mic like it owes him money in his final podcast episode, Not All Hood.
But freedom has its limits, so here we are, tear-streaked and salt-stained faces. Traces of trauma and pain lace our DNA like our black pride is cut and laced with self-hate.
He wasn't just setting the record straight. He was laying down a cultural indictment in surround sound. Look, Katt Williams been yelling this conspiracy-laced gospel for years, but y'all called him crazy. Malcolm-Jamal Warner whispers it with jazz music playing in the background, and suddenly it's profound. Same church, different pew.
Title is combating the narrative of black life or black culture that the media focuses on.
Katt didn't just fall off, he was pushed for speaking about Hollywood like it's the mafia and makeup. While everyone else was chasing Oscars, he was out here dodging setups and calling out secret contracts. Man said Will Smith's Oscar slap was staged, and y'all laughed like he wasn't halfway right. What Warner and Katt have in common is they both know what happens when you stop playing nice. The industry don't just ghost you, it buries you, not with scandal.
People reports that the 54-year-old was in Costa Rica on a family vacation and accidentally drowned while swimming.
The hood, Warner said, isn't a war zone. It's the womb of American cool. You like jazz? Hood. Hip-hop? Hood. TikTok dances? Bootlegged from the hood. Meanwhile, the media keeps running the same tired script. Drug dealer, baby mama, parole officer, rinse, repeat.
Can you tell me the fate of a people who consciously take the bait and embrace the very traits placed upon them by their captors who by design are inclined to keep them believing they're second rate? I'll wait.
But here's Warner giving spoken word artist Tameka Georgimi Harper her flowers while they're still fresh, talking about the soul behind the struggle, the art behind the pain. And just when you think he's winding down, he hits you with the realest line of all. Black excellence isn't about celebrity. It's about survival. Damn. This isn't about clout. It's about making it through a system built to chew you up, spit you out, and then copyright your trauma. The hood isn't hopeless. It's heroic. And Warner? He wasn't telling a sob story. He was building a new narrative, one where being black and breathing is already a revolution. But oh, don't worry, the media barely blinked, because when a black man tells the truth without yelling, they pretend they didn't hear it. Warner gave us a love letter to the places America loves to hate, and the fact that most folks missed it, that's the real tragedy. Forget designer suits and Forbes lists. According to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, real black excellence isn't walking red carpets. It's walking out of trauma without losing your damn mind. While everyone else is chasing clout, Warner's over here handing out therapy sessions and spiritual armor like it's reparations. See, the system's rigged worse than a church raffle. The minute you're born black in America, you're in a game of Jenga where the rules keep changing and the blocks are on fire. And yet, black folks still rise, still smile, still create. That's not just resilience, it's defiance wearing locks and a smile. Warner wasn't selling you a dream. He was unpacking a nightmare dressed up in capitalism. He made it crystal. Success isn't surviving Hollywood, it's surviving your own mind while the world profits off your silence. They want black people to perform, not speak. Dance, not question. Entertain, not exist on your own terms. And you know what's wild? That message should have been on every magazine cover, but instead, it got a polite nod from the mainstream. Like, oh, how inspirational. And back to covering the Kardashians' next fake scandal. Once upon a time, Warner was Hollywood's token safe black guy. You know the type: non-threatening smile, sweater game on point, just urban enough to seem authentic. He was the black dude white moms didn't mind seeing on TV at 8 p.m. But somewhere between reciting scripts and dodging typecasts, Warner woke the hell up. Maybe it was the industry politics. Maybe it was the soul rot. But the man went from Cosby's golden boy to the guy burning the blueprint on how black entertainers should behave. And Hollywood couldn't handle it. You see, they love their black actors like they love their coffee. Strong, silent, and never questioning the machine that brews them. But Warner wasn't playing that game anymore. He started speaking on everything: narrative control, the silencing of dissent, the systemic gag order on black truth. It wasn't a midlife crisis. It was a midlife clarity. He looked at a system that demanded conformity and chose complexity. He said things you're not supposed to say out loud, like, hey, maybe being palatable isn't freedom, and what if representation without control is just another kind of cage? With silence, both these men peeled back the curtain and said, yo, it's dark back here. And the crowd said, shh, you're ruining the vibe. Let's be real, the industry doesn't just ignore black voices, it edits them in real time. Every time someone like Warner or Katt tells the raw, uncut version of reality, a Hollywood executive breaks into hives and calls PR. You want proof? Look at Warner's podcast. It wasn't a rant, it wasn't messy, it was a calm, devastating breakdown of who controls the narrative. And it barely made a blip in the mainstream. We're not saying it was a conspiracy, but we're also not saying that. Because Warner died just 48 hours after speaking the loudest truth of his life. And the internet went full X-Files. Fans called it eerie. Comment sections turned into clue boards. Was it symbolic? Was it silencing? Or was it just the universe dropping the mic on his behalf? No scandals, no reality shows, no TMZ meltdowns, just smooth jazz, spoken word, and Grammy wins. Warner navigated the most toxic industry on earth with the poise of a man who knew who he was before the fame started calling. While other stars crashed and burned, Warner evolved. He didn't beg for relevance. He made art for the soul, not the algorithm. That's harder than it looks, especially when the industry wants you loud, messy, and marketable. Warner spent decades defending The Cosby Show's cultural impact while acknowledging the wreckage left behind. It's complicated. He never excused Cosby, but he never let one man's crimes erase an entire era of progress either. He spoke for the cast, for the audience, for the millions who needed that show. He said, yeah, it ended ugly, but the story it told, that mattered. How did he avoid the child star implosion? Easy. He had a mama who didn't play, and a mission that didn't include getting lost in the sauce. He didn't chase fame, he chased meaning. From acting to poetry to music, every move was intentional. Warner didn't burn out. He pivoted. He didn't become the punchline. He wrote the poem. Most child stars fade into VH1 specials. Warner faded into legend. How did he avoid the child star implosion? Easy. He had a mama who didn't play, and a mission that didn't include getting lost in the sauce. He didn't chase fame, he chased meaning. While others were partying under bright lights, he was studying life in the shadows. From acting to poetry to music, every move was intentional. Every shift was a strategy. Warner understood early that the industry's applause is temporary, but purpose, that echoes. Malcolm-Jamal Warner didn't burn out. He pivoted. He grew. He evolved. He didn't become the punchline. He wrote the poem. He chose the long game over the loud one. In a culture that devours its young and spits them out for clicks, Warner didn't feed the machine. Most child stars fade into VH1 specials and rehab rumors. Warner faded into legend. Quietly, steadily, on his own terms. And still, we overlook him. Why? The video ends with a question. Why do we ignore voices like Warner's? Why do we clown truth-tellers like Katt? Why do we laugh at the prophets and crown the puppets? Because the system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. Keep you entertained. Keep you distracted. Keep your heroes in headlines for meltdowns instead of messages. The truth doesn't trend unless it's tragic. Integrity doesn't go viral unless it breaks. Warner wasn't just talking. He was warning. He was saying, pay attention. Because what you consume starts consuming you. If we don't listen now, we'll keep watching the same story unfold, just with different actors, new hashtags, and the same old ending. Brilliance buried under branding, voices drowned out by noise. The lesson? Stop waiting for permission to value the real ones. Their message isn't always flashy, but it's always fire. Listen closely. Before the credits roll again. So here's the truth. Not every legend comes with lights and a PR team. Some build quietly, brick by brick, with purpose over applause. Malcolm-Jamal Warner is one of them. He didn't chase the spotlight, he shaped his own lane. And while the world clowns the Katt Williamses and overlooks the Warners, the system keeps spinning. But we don't have to play along. We can tune into the real, the rooted, the ones who speak with clarity in a noisy world. Because if we don't start listening to the warnings now, we'll keep repeating the cycle. Same story, different faces.